just received a super exciting package, which I thought for a change I would open with you. Normally I open these and then just do flip through, so that will give you a clue. So I'm going to pull this open and see what is inside. And I have just received the latest 3 books from Maremi Small Art of the industrial books. So we've got Bits and Bobs, Industrial Fashionistas, Personas and Whispers of the Industrial Zone. I'm super excited to receive these, and let's do a quick flip through and then make a project with them. Hi everyone, thank you for watching my video today. Welcome if you're new to my channel, and if you are a returning visitor, welcome back. As you have seen at the beginning of my video, I have a brand new delivery of some collage books. Now I'm going to do a flip through of these 3 new books from Maremi Small Art. I'm going to do them fairly quickly because there are 3 of them and I don't want to be spending hours going through them really in detail. So if it's something you don't want to watch because either maybe it's not of interest to you, or you are wanting to keep these as a surprise if you're intending to buy any of them, what I will do is I will at this point pop on the screen the time that you can fast forward to get to the actual project that I make. Obviously you'll still see a bit of the book, but I won't be doing the flip through in the project section. I will also put that time down in the description box below with all a list of all the products that I use, and I'll also link the books for you there. Just to say, I am not affiliated in any way to Maremi Small Art or Amazon or anything, so do check out your local suppliers, do check out your local Amazon, because I am based in the UK. So I'm going to do a flip through of the books, then I will make a project on time lapse with them with a voiceover, so hopefully you'll stick around and watch that too. So if you are wanting to see the books, I'm going to start off with this first one, which is the Bits and Bobs, and this is the one that I saw first that I really wanted. This I think is an excellent starter. If you want to get one of the books, you're not sure which one, this one has got a bit of everything. So this one goes beautifully to give you lots of extras to go with the original book, which was the little Personas. So like I say, I'm not going to spend a lot of time, I'm just going to go through the pages. This has to be my favourite of the 3, I have to admit. I'm loving the background. You get a real assortment. For me, light bulbs, just I can't have too many light bulbs. Lots and lots of bits to fussy cut, but also some fabulous backgrounds, some focal points, a real mix. Love that. We've got a mixture of industrial, but if you also do like your pretty with your industrial, we've got some flowers in here as well. I love the colours. You've got extra people, little personas. So if you haven't got the little personas and you want to start somewhere, this is a good one because you've got some of those little personas in there as well. The globes, which I know people love from other books. If you're not into people but you like birds, you've got butterflies, you've got windows. This, I have to say, is the one I'm probably going to be using most in my project. I mean, I cannot resist oil cans. I love oil cans. More beautiful butterflies, but with a twist. So even if you're not somebody who loves, you know, grunge and industrial, there's some prettiness in here still. I've always been somebody who likes combining that's the juxtaposition, I love that word, of, you know, prettiness and grunginess. I think they go beautifully together. So hopefully this isn't too quick for you, but I don't want to spend ages and ages. Then you've got a bonus mini backgrounds, and you've got your bonus page of things that might be in some of the other books, information about Maremi Small Art. And what I like is that on the back of that page you get this one, so you can use that. And there we go. So that's, and the beautiful back. of the book as well there. I'll pop that one down on the floor. This one is Whispers of Industrial Zone. This is a backgrounds book more. Not in the sense of a very plain background, but it's one that's not got so many focal points. But if you have backgrounds in here that you're not keen on, you can still cut apart some of these images. I love that one. See, I like sections, not, you know, not necessarily the whole thing. I would probably cut that as a focal image and have that as something else. This one, I mean, I love that. I think that's the one that's on the backdrop of the other book. I'm hoping that this is all in shot properly for you because I haven't actually checked. Lovely vintage vibes going on as well. I do like that. Lots and lots of these sort of birds on a wire and things like that. Again, so if you just wanted to cut out the tree part, you can do that. You've got sections cut in four. We've got big backgrounds, massive backgrounds here. So real mixture of different things. Again, you've got your birds. A lovely, again, cut apart page if you wanted to, or as a background. I'm loving this. I'm going to use this as inspiration for my project today. See, I automatically just want to cut all those light bulbs and industrial lamps out. Lovely massive landscape there for you. Again, you could cut that easily in half. You don't need to use these as big, you know, backgrounds. You can cut them apart. You can cut sections of them. Let me do it like this. It might be, oh, I love that. Do you know what? This just shows you every time I look through, and I have looked through them a few times because they are just beautiful to sit and look through just as a book. And every time I see something new, like I hadn't noticed that with the wings and the house before. So, you know, this is what I really truly love, is this sort of background. Then you've got a bonus page of personas, a bonus page of bits and bobs, so you've got the other books in there, a bonus page of what might be in some of the other books like the Moss book, and then again your information about the group, information about YouTube, and there we go. And again, beautiful back cover. And finally, I did debate whether I wanted this one because I've already got the little personas and I didn't know how much it would be similar, but I got it, and I'm glad I did for the last 6 pages. You will see, and the rest, but in particular for the last 6 pages. So this is the Fashionistas, and again, you always get this lovely introduction from Marta, but you get something on here as well, all her books, and this has got all your little people. So, oh, I'm loving this backdrop on this one as well. So if you've got a page which you didn't like, then this would be a fabulous backing paper to use. Now, I find the children or people in this one a little bit darker, maybe a little bit more industrial and grungy than in the other book. They're much deeper colours. But if that's the look you're going for, then that will be fantastic. She's so cute. Then well, this one's got a little bit more colour, a bit more brightness, but you can always add colour. Don't forget that, you know, just because you might say, oh, there's not much colour going on there, that's the idea. It's meant to be industrial, but you can add colour in yourself with your pencils, with your crayons, with your paints. You know, as long as you're careful with watercolours and things like that, but you can certainly add a bit of colour back in if you feel that you want a bit more colour in there. She's lovely and colourful though. But there's some lovely, really big images as well. So you've got a mixture. You've got the small, you've got the big. We've got these really big backgrounds. Love. I love moths. So again, this is fantastic. Again, another beautiful big background. Now this is my 6 pages that absolutely I adore. This is what I like to do. So these beautiful, big, bold background pages, this is my kind of thing. And oh, especially that gives me whispers of between the music notes as well going on there. So I love that. That's this one, but in the darker tone. So I think is it that one? Or it's at least similar to that one. Then you also get a page full of words and sort of small phrases, I would say, rather than whole long sentiments, which you can use with your pages. bonus page of mini animals. Have to say, animals are not really, like these sorts of animals, aren't really my thing. My daughter loves koalas. I might cut that out, put that on something for her. And then we've got a bonus page again of what you might find in some of the other books. It won't be exactly what you find, but the similar style. So like the moss and maybe spring or autumn, those sorts of things. And then you've got your page about the YouTube channel. And again, if you see, once you've seen that, you can then use the back as a bonus background page. And again, beautiful pages, covers I should say. Oh, let me just pick them all up. So we've got Whispers of Industrial Zone, that's your backgrounds book. You've got the Bits and Bobs, that's got lots of cutaway parts but also some people as well. And then you've got your Fashionista Personas, which has got lots of people but also some backgrounds. So I will be using my ledger journal. I have done an industrial page in here before. This is the industrial page that I've done before. This is on my channel. I recently also did a spooky personas pages, which are also on my channel. I'll link probably this one at the end because that is obviously nearest to these, because this is one of the little personas book. So if you'd like to see me now use probably mostly from the Bits and Bobs to create a spread in my ledger journal from Dina Wakley, do please stick around till the end. That bit will be time-lapse, so a bit faster with my voicing over. If that makes any sense. So thank you ever so much for watching so far, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the video. Okay, so I'm starting off as always by adding some tape down the centre of the pages. These pages of this ledger journal are 180 GSM, so they're not as thick as some of the mixed media paper that's in the Dilutions journals, or as thick as the paper that's in the watercolour sketchbooks, which is, and most of mine, about 300 GSM. So I just do this for security, just because I want to make sure, as I do tend to add quite a lot of water and wet mediums to my pages, I want to make sure it's not going through. So I just do that with a bit of washi tape. Now, as I said earlier, I was going to be inspired by some of the backgrounds in the book. So I'm chosen this page mostly, which has got lots of these sort of patches or squares of different textures and patterns and colours, but all in that lovely industrial style. So I'm cutting out a lot of different sizes that I'm going to build up a sort of display on one side and then on the other, with most of it going on the emptier page, because I do love to see that text from the ledger shining through. I'm starting off just by cutting them out. I'm just doing it with my scissors. I'm not worried about them being a bit rough because they're going to overlap, and I want to add a little bit of acrylic paint over the top, and then they're going to have all sorts to really build up that texture and pattern in the background. Once I'd cut those ones out, I did actually go back in and I found the bonus backgrounds in the book as well, and I cut a couple of those because I wanted a couple of bigger rectangles to go as a basis for where I wanted to stick my whole background. That's the only word I can think to describe it. I'm using the Liquitex Professional Matte Medium to stick everything down. So I'm adding a layer onto my page, then onto the back, and then I'm putting it over the top. Now, I do get asked about sealing pages, but I'm not doing it to seal the page as such. I'm doing it to make sure it stays stuck down. But you could just do this with a glue stick or with normal glue. You don't have to be doing it like this. I do it like this because it's the way I've always done it, so I like to do it this way. I don't tend to feel that I need to seal anything in my journal because it's in my journal. It's going to get closed, it's going to be protected, it's not going on a wall, it's not getting light or dust on it. But you do need to be aware that if you're going to put things like watercolour on top of this, sometimes it is going to be affected by adding something like a glossy or a matte medium over the top, because it will give it a different surface. So if you're worried about that, then you could either put a layer of clear gesso over the top, or you can put watercolour ground over the top, depending on what you're using on top of it. I never worry that much because I feel that an art journal or a sketchbook is a place for me just to play, and it's not going to be something that I'm expecting to last forever. It's not going to be something I'm expecting really to show, apart from on my videos, of course. So I am showing it, but you know what I mean. I don't just generally get them out and show them to people. So it is a place for me to just play and experiment and try out materials and just have fun, really. So I decided I wanted to add a little bit of contrast with a bit of the washi tape. This one is from Aall and Create. I can't remember the name. I will list what I use in the description box below. I wanted to blend some of those edges in a little bit, so I'm using the cream gesso from Pretty Gets Gritty. So I didn't choose it because it was a gesso. I chose it because I liked the colour. But then I did also have in my mind that being a gesso, it then does give a little bit of a primed surface for whatever I'm going to add on top. It's probably, gesso is a really good one if you're using things like your acrylics and things like that, although they will go over most things, and watery mediums. Pure watercolour isn't so much for using on top of gesso, but I find it works for me. But if you are interested in things like that, I would suggest maybe going and researching that a little bit more with people who probably know a lot more about stuff like this than me. Now, I did start out, I was blending it with my finger, then I decided I didn't like doing it that way. It wasn't giving the effect I wanted, and I am adding water to tone it down a little bit. I don't want it to be too opaque, covering up the background that I've already created. I want to be able to still see through it, if you know what I mean. Right, now I wanted to add a bit of texture. This is the theme for this journal, is sort of collage and texture paste through a stencil, and this stencil is from Lemon Creation. I do believe it's back to square one, and I thought it just went really nicely with how the background had been formed with the squares and rectangles of the paper. So I added a couple of bits in on that side, and then I was deciding where I wanted to go. I don't generally, it's very rare you will see me add the whole of a stencil to something. I like to pick and choose. That's why I do really like these sorts of stencils that are a generic pattern. They are more pleasing to me than ones that maybe make more of a picture. I like just picking out bits and pieces. So I did 3 to that side, and then I decided I would do the same on the other, and so that they're both similar-ish in how they're formed. I've got some fluid acrylics here, and these are from Deco Art, and I wanted to carry on with that industrial look. So using the colours from the papers, and this is always a good thing to help you make your pages coherent, is if you've got a background paper in there, look at the colours in that to help you choose what you might want to put on top. So I've gone with Paynes Grey, which is one of my favourites, and Quinacridone Gold. Quinacridone Gold is a fabulous colour, especially in acrylic paint, if you ever want to create a rusty type effect, those rusty streaks and things like that. Quinacridone Gold is a really good one for doing that sort of effect. I love it in watercolour as well. It's a bit, it's not quite the same in watercolour. I think it looks more like rust in acrylic than it does in watercolour, but it's also one of my favourite watercolour colours as well. And again, I am watering down the acrylic. Do remember that with your acrylics, they don't have to be just painted on flat. You can add water to them. Obviously, the more water you add, the more you are diluting their colour. And you can get mediums that will water sort of thin out your acrylics without taking away from the colour. I wanted that because I wanted them to become more translucent, because I still want to see a lot of my background through the colour. once that was done, I left that all to dry and started looking through the bits and bobs book for the elements that I now wanted to add. I wasn't 100% sure of what I wanted to add. I knew I wanted bulbs, I knew I wanted characters and some other little bits and pieces. So I went through and I cut out, initially I thought I was cutting out more than I was going to use. In the end, I did actually use every single thing that I cut out. So I'm just going to show you the elements from the book that I chose, and then off camera I will actually cut those out because I wanted to cut them right to the edge and there was quite a lot of cutting out to do. So I don't want to have to show you every single thing that I decided to cut out. These are all the bits that I cut out. I have some larger pieces, some smaller pieces, which I thought would be good for layering up and building up my picture. I decided this time that I would go with my acrylic glue. I have a lot of texture, a lot of mediums already on the page, and I wanted to make sure that these were thoroughly stuck down. And when I'm sticking down images with my white glue, I tend to go around the edges first. Now this glue is by Cosmic Shimmer and it does dry clear, and it's supposed to dry matte as far as I'm aware. I do sometimes see a little bit, but it doesn't worry me too much. Excuse me. So I decided to go for my main images first, that I wanted to make sure they were in place because they are the main focal points I wanted everybody to be looking at. So I go around the edges, then I put a little bit of glue in the middle, and then I'm squishing down. This is also quite a quick drying glue. It does still give you a little bit of wiggle time because it is a wet glue. So this is just me now placing all the pieces where I want them and sticking them down. So I'm just finishing off adding the last few elements, and I'm really pleased with the composition of this page. So I've got something on both sides going on, but I did want my main images to really stand out a bit more. So I'm adding some of the Stabilo Aall black pencil. I often will use the bark colour from the Inktense range if I want to add shadows, but for this, because it is a very industrial page, I felt that the black would really add something to the page. Now I started off, I was adding the actual pencil down. After a while I decided it was easier for me just to take the colour from the tip of the pencil with my brush. Now that is fine to do as long as you are not getting the wooden part of your pencil wet. You don't want to get a lot of water into that wood because it can cause it to rot. You want to just be taking it from the pigment at the top. So I start with the darkest near to my image and then gradually water that out. This paper, isn't really made for loads and loads of water, and I have found that because I do add so much, I do get a little bit of buckling. I'm saying this because I do get asked about this paper and how it stands up to mediums. I know that it's probably not made for a lot of water. I don't mind the buckling. Also, whenever you use things like texture paste, because the moisture is going down into the page, you will also get a bit of sort of like waviness and buckling. Because I'm going to shut the book, I put usually a elasticy band around it to hold it in place. It doesn't really matter to me, but if that is something that is going to be of concern to you, then just do be aware of that. Finally, I wanted to add some sentiments. I did look at the ones in one of the books, but I decided to go with some of the small talk and just added a couple, which I then added some extra glue to. So if you have enjoyed this video, do please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already subscribed, it would be fabulous if you could click that subscribe button and join us on this arty crafty journey. And hopefully I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.